Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegades Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
Hey, Tom, happy Friday.
Good morning. Happy Friday to you, Bob. How are things in Bethany Beach?
Is it raining where you are?
No, but it rained hard last night.
Okay, it is pouring right now. So it's
good thing you got out running.
Inside doing this. Yes, I was thinking this morning that this would have been a really good Jim Katory mock opportunity if I'd gone up to the beach. But
correct. And yeah, you're inside, nice and warm.
That's
ready
it.
to do this, which is good.
That's it.
Well, welcome everyone to today's Antidote, our daily broadcast and podcast. Whereas the intro said, we try to help you find that one thing. We've been having a discussion all week about how Renegades roll. And so today is, as we do on Fridays, is our weekly wrap-up. And we'll get to that in just a moment. But the way we always start the show off is by celebrating. And so we're going to celebrate. Bob, what are you celebrating today?
Hey, I can't go into the details very much, but I figured something out about myself that has been slowing me down for years and years and years. And it crystallized last night, and it changes how I see how I appear in the world in a lot of ways. I know that's really vague and really out there. I totally get it. But, you know, when we have these moments of self-discovery, they often, it's a personal thing, but I think it does influence my work as well.
Well, of course it does.
And I lost a good night's sleep over it last night. So, just thinking through it. But that's okay.
Fair enough. It happens.
What are you celebrating?
So my celebration is that today, and one of the benefits and things I love about having my own business and being to run it the way I want is there's an organization called Taproot that finds people in different fields to go out and provide pro bono services to nonprofit organizations. And it's an organization that when I first got started, I did a number of different little individual projects. And it really helped me solidify that I enjoyed the consulting and coaching world. And so I try to get involved and do things with them when I can. And today they are doing a pro bono marathon. So myself and another person, along with a bunch of other coaches and consultants, are spending from 10 till 3 today with an organization trying to help them get through a challenge that they are facing. And so I'm celebrating the fact that I, one, get the chance to do it, and two, that I'm always excited about figuring out how I can help organizations, and especially nonprofit organizations, figure out how to take their next step.
That's awesome. I like that. And I appreciate that you invited me into that so that I could give back too. Really appreciate that, Tom. That was a nice touch.
I think I did. Yeah. I think I did share that information with you, and I don't think you chose to participate. I can't remember.
I don't remember that, but if it was on me, that's fine. But be that as it may, I think it's great. There's so many great nonprofits doing really great work out there that they struggle with funding, they struggle with staffing, they struggle with volunteers, they struggle with, IRS requirements. There's a long list of issues for them. They're really like any other business, except I would describe it as often they have one arm tied behind their back because they're a nonprofit, which changes the rules a little bit.
Yeah, and I would say that just like small businesses, they often tie that hand behind their back themselves and look at themselves, they just look at themselves differently. I think one of the biggest challenges for nonprofits is they look at themselves not like a organization or a business. And so they don't always do things that would be more effective, maybe more effective and more efficient. They just do them differently. I think they're not always as open to different perspectives. And a lot of times it's because what I've found, it's so similar to entrepreneurs and small business owners. is that usually the founder or the executive director has a skill set and has a passion usually for helping solve a challenge that is out there. And so they do an amazing thing and they try to help. The challenge often is they don't have experience, knowledge, or the maybe experience and knowledge to run an organization. And so there are often lots of challenges that are faced like that. And it's no different than a small business owner.
I was going to say.
And I think
sounds like my path and your path.
Sure, and many others. And I think the challenge is that, you have to make the hard decisions. You have to do it all, or think you have to do it all. I think they're not great at asking for help. They're better than many small business owners.
I was going to say, you're talking my language.
Yeah.
And that's a really interesting parallel. I don't think people realize that whatever you're starting, you're challenged by a whole bunch of things that you've never dealt with before. And it's usually if you have the and there's no template.
No, there's not, because you're unique, right? It's just like any person, is that every organization is different. And I think that it's a resource challenge. They go into it with the best of intentions, like some business owners, entrepreneurs, and have a great concept, a great idea. They might even have a great business plan or a great organizational plan. And there will always be challenges along the way as we try to figure things out. Sometimes we have the ability to do it, and other times we don't. And again, like we were talking about yesterday, many have a fear of asking for help. In a not asking usually, and well, it's funny, even a lot of nonprofits and people involved with them have a hard time asking for help financially, which is really a huge part of what they do and how they operate, is when they get people to donate. And yet so many people involved with them struggle for asking people for money.
Just like business people struggle asking for someone if they want to work with them.
Sure. No,
yeah, the parallels are amazing. Tom, Michael's with us this morning. I want to get his comment in. Hello, Renegades from Arlington, Virginia, at the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. We are celebrating our rights to protest and fight for the inventors of America.
Good for you, Michael. I know Michael has had a long battle as a small business owner.
Yes.
Putting together a product that he had patented and has had challenges from larger businesses. And so good luck, Michael. I know this has been a long fight. And so I think that hopefully he will find some resolution soon.
And I love that he found a way to celebrate within that.
Yes.
Instead of being bitter and looking at I've got to fight this thing, but celebrating the fact that he has that opportunity, which is the result of a whole bunch of circumstances and things he did.
Correct.
So I love and that to me, Tom, is what's so great about the idea of celebrating successes, is you get the chance to reframe it.
Absolutely.
I could celebrate the fact that today is kind of an icky day so far, and that means that I can do some things that I probably need to do but haven't done.
Sure.
Even though I plan to be on the beach all day, and I could be really upset. Oh, it's raining. This is horrible. I really wanted to be on the beach. I scheduled work off, blah, blah. Or I can reframe it.
Sure. And it's okay to be frustrated and upset that things didn't go the way you thought they would. So what are you going to do differently? And I think those are, things we talk about all the time. So I think I'm excited about the opportunity to do that work. Because it's just one of those things I enjoy.
Yeah, that's great. I love it.
Now that we've talked about our celebrations, what is our National Celebration Day today, Bob?
This is National Tradesman Day, which honors the men and women whose skills and hard work build America. And I'm going to read from a description from National Day Calendar because it's very well done. Their skills keep it running strong, it being America. The day recognizes the professionals who maintain the complex infrastructure of our roads, cities, water systems, power grids, and so many other things. While these experts work day in and day out maintaining skills unique to their trade, our nation continues to operate smoothly without pause. The skills and knowledge of those in the trades keep businesses, homes, and the entire nation running. Whether walls go up or come down, roads cross rivers or the water flows, electricians, plumbers, masons, mechanics, carpenters, and everyone in between ensures that the job gets done. Now, that is a lost art. Try finding a plumber. Try finding an electrician. You can wait for days. You got water flooding your basement, and you call the plumber, and they go, yeah, we can get you in 3-4 days, because there just aren't that many out there.
Sure. Well, I think it's a shift that we have made from the tradesperson perspective to the professional, different type of professional. And so I think it's probably a little bit of supply and demand. And I would think that potentially now there will be more people who will consider that, because they see the opportunity that is there. It's a
renegade thing now, right? It was mainstream 50 or 100 years ago. Now, if you want to go into the trades, you're a renegade, especially, and I've seen this with one of my nephews who wanted to go into the trades very early. He knew in like 9th grade, the school system, he was in the public school system, really wanted him to go to college. Everything was college prep until he moved to a vocational school. And then it was a different animal. But
interesting. It's interesting to me that that's the case, because I remember, when I grew up, there was an option for kids to go learn a vocation. And there was a significant number of kids in my high school. I mean, I grew up in the middle of nowhere, rural upstate New York. And maybe there were more opportunities up there at the time, or more people were doing it. And so that those options were available. But it was a significant population of my class that went every day to learn a trade as a part of their educational system. And I think it was, for them, a great opportunity. Some of them continued down that pathway and some did other things. And I think that allowed them to do what was real for them in the moment and take advantage of some of the knowledge, skills, and experience, and perspective they had to help move forward.
Tim asks a great question. Have you two ever heard of Job Corps?
Yeah.
I was going to let you answer that one.
Thank you, Tim. Kind of like Bob's description, I was thinking as he was reading that, we probably just could have put a link in the chat of that entire description. And it was informational, so I appreciate it.
Well, it needed context.
Yeah.
And they did such a great job of expressing the broadness of it.
Correct.
So Tom, we should get to our topic. It's weekend review time. It's wrap-up time. We've been talking through how renegades roll all week. We've talked about how they listen, how they celebrate. They do other things that I can't remember right now because that was Monday and Tuesday, and I have a feeble mind, apparently. But as we look at the end of the week, as you and I like to do, we like to crystallize what's come to us from that week. And so what would you say is your discovery of the week? Oh, I like that, discovery of the week.
So is this my one thing, or is it just my?
I think it's kind of the two together.
Okay, I give some thoughts. I think one of the things about it was that, the other 2 days, I looked them up, so just be prepared. But was there were
Wait, you can look this stuff up?
You can look it up. Imagine that. Just like you could look up the national day that's happening. Anyhow, it was, they identify uniqueness. And, we had the conversation about listening to understand, which was a great conversation because it led into, my saying that we also need to be able to ask and ask and then listen to understand. If you remember, I sort of tried to make that adjustment in the middle of the conversation. And then I think one of the biggest questions you can ask is for help, as we discussed 2 days ago, and then to celebrate. And so I think that there were just a lot of things that wrapped together to make a nice ball, which was easy to show a little bit how renegades roll. And yet it's not it's not really defined in a very specific way. I think it's an option. It's an opportunity for each of us to define what that looks like within a context, and I think you said it I think it was this week, maybe it was last week, but within the boundaries the guardrails that we've decided to set up for ourselves. And, and I think that's an interesting thing. It's funny. Somebody commented on, we put in the Ring of Renegades Facebook group, what do you get out of this group? And somebody said, it helps me think out of the box, which I think is great. And I also offered to them that maybe it just expands the box, that maybe now the box is larger. And so there are new things that you had never considered or understood or thought about before, or had that perspective. And so now your box is larger, and you get to, and it's a matter of being in and understanding kind of knowing that you know what you know, and that you don't know everything. There's lots of other information out there to gain. And so to me, it was just an interesting thing that, without coming out and pinpointing, this is exactly what you have to do if you're a renegade, it was setting a framework, setting up some guardrails so that people can find themselves within that and find, like this, the renegade in them.
Ooh. And they should embrace that renegade.
Definitely do that. How about for you, Bob?
So I was looking at the Facebook page this morning in our Ring Renegades Facebook group, and on Wednesday I posted something that said, "I need help. Tell us what you need in this thread." And I'm looking through it this morning and seeing that there are some people who've made some serious connections just from asking for help. Sure. There's a person looking for speaking opportunities and stuff like that, and that's in my wheelhouse. And I've seen that person post. I've never talked to that person. There were two people that could be referral partners that I saw were getting involved, and someone even talked about just what I need help with is I'd like you to like my Facebook business page, because of course that would help more people see it.
Sure.
And, not big things or little things. And I would have never thought to do that 2 weeks ago or a month ago or a year ago. And now it looks like a natural thing. And I'm thinking, boy, maybe that's something we should do every week, is just post the "I need help" and give people the opportunity to share what they need help with. Even, I had someone who texted me this morning and said, "Hey, one of my relatives is really sick. Could you send prayers?" There's a simple ask.
Sure.
And I think there's a lot of that we can do to help each other. And as renegades, I think it also deepens our relationship. And what I love about doing it on the Facebook group is that other people can see what's going on, and it broadens our knowledge of each other. And that to me is the really exciting part.
Well, the other thing I think it does, and this to me is I think this is really an example of how renegades roll. You told your story yesterday, 2 days ago. Yesterday, you told it, because it happened, of the woman who stopped to help you. You didn't ask, she just offered. And what I was thinking about is that those opportunities are two-way streets. Mm-hmm. And I don't think we think about them that way. When we ask for help, I think sometimes we don't do it because we worry, like, what are they going to say? Are we being intrusive? We're going to owe someone. Rather than, that is really an opportunity for someone else to give. And the value that people get from giving is significant. And it's, similar to the value you get for receiving. For receiving their help, you are moving forward. It also gives them a chance to share the gifts that they've been given. And I think we don't think about that so often when we ask for help, is that while, yes, it's something that can benefit you, and it can benefit the person who chooses to offer the help. And people can, not only will others see the type of person that is willing to offer help, they will also, the person who did it can also feel good about the help that they're giving. I mean, Taproot probably wasn't thinking about this when they put out the call for help. They were thinking, we're trying to help nonprofits, right? And in the end, at least for me, they were helping me because it allowed me to do something that I felt I could share my gifts in this opportunity. And, they probably think it's a burden to ask people to do that. they're probably worried, and they don't get as many people. And if they started thinking about it as an invitation for someone to do something that they might really enjoy, like to do, and that they get satisfaction from doing it. And so maybe that part of it allows us to be more open to asking, because now we're not thinking about it only how it benefits us, but we're also thinking about how it benefits the person. We're giving them the opportunity to give so that we can receive.
Awesome. I think it's really great just how all this has fallen into place this week. And if you're new to this and you came in today, I really encourage you to go back and listen to the 4 podcasts before this all week, or watch the Facebook Lives, because I think we really, really captured the essence of what Renegades are in ways that aren't narrowing, like you said. We just kind of put the walls around it, and then you can build within it. And frankly, you can change those walls too. It's what we've seen in most of the cases we deal with. But I think that's really exciting to me, because, you know, I've written a book about this topic, and still, even as I've written this book about this topic, I'm still discovering and learning what it is and how it applies to so many different situations. I want to throw another comment in. Tim says the discovery of the week, this should be a regular feature. So maybe that's what Friday's episode can be, instead of weekly wrap up, which is boring. The discovery of the week. Won't you want to hear what that is?
Sure.
Sorry, I was doing a little marketing in public. So, you know, talking through a marketing approach in public.
Okay.
So, Tom, we've kind of done our one thing, I think. So it's probably just, no?
Well, I haven't.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so as I was thinking about this, it is that, you know, while we want to give a frame of reference for how renegades roll, I think the beauty of being a renegade is, you alluded to it just a minute or so ago, is that you get the chance to do that yourself. That you are open to consider other things, that your knowledge, experience, and perspective is limited, no matter how much you know or how little you know, and it can always be impacted. And so that gives you the chance to do something that you choose to do. You know, if we set guardrails down and say, I'm never adjusting from those. If the person who commented in the Facebook book says, here's my box, I'm not leaving it. You know, I don't think that's how a renegade rolls. I think a renegade could say, this is my box. I'm listening to other options or my guardrails. And you know what? I'm good with where my box is. But I've at least considered that there might be other knowledge, different experiences, and a unique perspective that I hadn't considered. And part of that consideration is, do I expand what my box looks like, or the guardrails that I have laid down? And so to me, that's the piece that, as I think about how renegades roll, that's it, is that they are open to that change. And they intentionally choose what their next step will be.
Nice. I would say what I've really gotten to today is the whole idea of listen, ask for help, and celebrate. Those 3 things. If I do those consistently, I think great things will happen for me. And I think for anyone, listening more, asking for help more, and celebrating, whether it's a little or a lot. For a lot of people, I think it's just starting to celebrate. But I find for me, the more I celebrate things, the more I feel good about it. Like this morning when I was telling you all about what I was celebrating, it sounds very weird, but just saying it out loud makes it more real. It makes it like, yeah, I did this thing. It's kind of like you can put it in its little box on the step and say, there it is. I tackled this thing. And I think that's one of the things that, you know, I talk to so many business leaders who say, I just feel like I'm in this spinning wheel and I never move forward. But when you start to break it down and say, well, what did you do today? Well, we set up a new credit card system. Oh, we set up this new service. We expanded into a new city and all these things. And you're like, you start to, I mean, literally, I'm like, well, okay, each of those is a step that you're climbing up. And when they see that, they go, oh, I didn't realize, I thought I was doing nothing. And I think that's what we're really trying to prevent, is that feeling of it's just not moving in any direction, because what it really is always moving.
Absolutely.
So,
excellent.
All right, Tom, I think it's time for you to do that really great wrap up. And make sure, Tom, I want to just make sure you mention it, because sometimes I know you might forget. It is a private group.
Thanks.
Tell us why, please.
I will certainly do that. Thanks so much for joining us today. If you are listening to the podcast, please feel free to, I think, rate us, review us, share it with your friends.
Rate us 5-star reviews.
5-star reviews would be helpful. We appreciate that. Share it with someone else who you think might get value from it. If you are watching it in the Facebook group or on YouTube, please feel free to put a comment. You can share your one thing or your discovery of the week. I like that, Tim. I think that's a good thing to incorporate. We're being open. We're being renegades, willing to say, you know what? Weekly wrap-up was okay. Discovery of the week is going to be different. So, and if you have a thing you'd like to share with the group, or maybe you have help that you need, you can always do that within our community, the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. As Bob mentioned, it is a private Facebook group, but it's easy to join. Just go to Facebook, search for Ring of Renegades. Now, because it's private, you just have to ask, and you have to tell us why you're a renegade. And then you can become a part of our growing community where we are helping people take their next step along their own unique pathway to success. So with that, I hope that you have a great weekend. I hope that you've enjoyed and have a better understanding for yourself how renegades roll and how you as a renegade
get you to start saying we hope. I was just thinking, you always say, I hope that you have a great weekend. Do you think I don't hope that they have a great weekend? Could it be we?
It definitely could be we.
I would like that.
I will work on that. I'm sorry. That's on me.
No, I'm not mad about it. It's just every morning you say it, I'm like, why does he get to tell me he hopes they have a great day and a great weekend? Why can't it be we? That doesn't cost us anything.
It definitely does not.
I'll tell you what, if you do that, I will stop harassing you about it being a private group.
I actually like the harassment. It doesn't bother me at all. That's what's real for you. I'm all right with it.
Okay.
All right, everyone. We hope that you have an amazing weekend. And we hope that we'll see you inside the Ring of Renegades Facebook group, or we will see you Monday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern time for our next edition of today's Antidote.
Hey, we both hope that you embrace the renegade in you.
Awesome. Thanks for listening to today's Antidote, powered by the Renegade Success Network. The Renegade Success Network helps you confidently create your own unique pathway to success. To learn more about the Renegade Success Network and how you can take your next step, follow us on Twitter, connect on LinkedIn, or join the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. For full details on how you can join our community, go to renegadesuccessnetwork.com. Embrace the renegade in you.